So now, with their tail kind of in between their legs, they wasted no time investigating him.
Mm-hmm.
If only someone didn't have to die to do this.
Right.
And once you get into a car with somebody, you're at their mercy.
If your car should become disabled, the rule of thumb is stay inside. There are signs you can get to put on the back window to summon for help. If strangers should offer assistance, tell them to call police or the CHP.
Just stay in the vehicle, lock all the doors, turn on the emergency flashers, and wait for help to come. Even if you have to wait all night, it's better to be in the safety of your vehicle and spend the night than to try to walk and get assistance. Now let's step up in front of the
Because if you do decide to walk, the CHP says you never know who you may meet along the road.
Anything could happen. Being a female, you could be raped, robbed if you're a male, all the way to where you could be killed. Once you get in that other person's car, you're at their mercy.
The gas tank is broken under the bottom, right? You can't fill it up.
The bottom line, though, is that preventing all this trouble is easy. Be sure your car works. And as simple as it sounds, be sure you've got gas. Because even if you're lucky enough to get some, you still may be taking your life in your own hands.
Do you realize how dangerous it is?
Yes, I realize. In fact, I was putting the gas in, and an 18-wheeler came by and almost blew me away.
What you just heard is a news segment from 1986 by California Highway Patrol Officer Craig Peyer alongside NBC7 news reporter Rory Devine. This segment is about how people, particularly women, can avoid becoming victims of a crime while driving on an interstate alone, and it was in response to the community's panic over the murder of 20-year-old Cara Knott.
Mm-hmm.
This case has been suggested time and time again, and she was already on my list, and then we got yet another email about it, and I was like, all right, okay. I hear y'all. I see y'all. This one will be my next one.
There you go. And hey, everyone.
Hey, everyone. Let's get into it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Sources: court documents, LA Times, NBC7 San Diego, CBS 8, FindLaw.com, HuffPost, and Daily Times Advocate. Cara Knott was born in February 1966 in Ventura, California, to parents Sam and Joyce Knott. She had 3 siblings, and at some point in her early childhood, their family moved to San Diego. And by 1986, she was a junior at San Diego State, studying elementary education and working at the zoo.
Wow.
She loved animals. I think when she was little, she wanted to be a vet, which I think is true for a lot of my victims recently.
Oh, wow.
I know. It's a recurring theme with me.
Uh-huh. Mm-hmm.
She had a boyfriend named Wayne Bautista, who lived in Escondido, which is about 30 miles north of San Diego. And it was said that they could have stopped traffic because of how good looking they were.
Ooh.
Which is true. They are very pretty.
Mm-hmm.
That December, Cara spent Christmas with her family, obviously, but planned to spend a couple of days with Wayne. So on December 26, 1986, she drove to Escondido in her white 1968 Volkswagen Beetle. Wayne actually ended up getting sick, so she only stayed for the night, and it was an uneventful trip of them just lounging and Cara taking care of him. Taking care of him.
There you go.
There you go.
Atta girl, you got some wit in ya.
Yeah, I do. The next night, December 27th, around 8:30 p.m., she called her parents to let them know she was about to leave and would be home in about 45 minutes. It's a straight shot down I-15, and she's done it a million times. So when she still wasn't home an hour and a half later, her parents got very concerned. They called Wayne, and he confirmed she left when she said she did, and he hasn't spoken to her. Now, Cara was very responsible. She would have called if she were going to be late. And as a side note, she's also not a naive girl. She knew how to avoid a dangerous situation and even took self-defense classes as well as rape prevention classes.
Oh, what is that?
Yeah, and it's pretty much the same as self-defense, but it's more about being aware of your surroundings, red flags to look for, some physical techniques, but mainly it's about like risk reduction and educating yourself on what to look for so it doesn't come to, beating someone's ass.
Go, girl.
So they're thinking that she must have gotten in a car wreck. So both Cara's parents and Wayne contacted 4 law enforcement agencies around San Diego and Escondido to ask if there had been any accidents or stranded vehicles reported, but they said no. So they asked to file a missing persons report, but this is the 80s and they required a 48-hour waiting period, which is horseshit.
8 hours. Can you imagine? You're a kid and you have to just sit on your ass for 2 days? Yeah,
Yeah.
right. Sure.
Yeah, they didn't do that. They were getting up and looking for her themselves. But
Sure.
they first called all the local hospitals to see if anyone had come in, but to no avail. By 10 or 11 p.m., her parents were understandably frantic, particularly Sam, Cara's father, who said he physically felt pain knowing something was horribly wrong and later described it as a call to my soul.
Oh my God, Sam.
I know.
I want to give you a big hug.
So he and Joyce decided to get in their car and drive up the freeway toward Escondido in hopes that Cara maybe just had a flat tire or something. They stopped at every empty construction site, parking lot, everywhere. As the night went on, other family members went out looking for her, and in the early morning hours of December 28th, Cara's sister Cynthia and her husband Bill decided to drive down an abandoned exit off of I-15 called Mercy Road.
An abandoned exit?
Yeah, so it's kind of weird. All right, so this exit leads to nowhere.
What?
I don't know if it ever led anywhere. I don't know. It's still there. So y'all tell me.
Okay.
But when you drive down it, it's essentially a dead end or like a cul-de-sac without any houses on it, obviously.
Uh-huh.
So they drive down there and it's 5 a.m. and there are pictures. I'll send them. I mean, I'll post them, obviously.
Yeah.
So they drive down there and it's 5 a.m. So it's still dark out. And Bill later said in an interview, it was like being in a horror movie. There are no street lights. It's pitch black dark and covered in trash, like mattresses on off the side of the road, shit like that. So
yeah,
it just looks like it's been a dumping site for years for litter bugs everywhere.
Assholes
Everywhere. Even a retired highway patrol lieutenant said that he's been down there to write reports, but didn't stick around because it's an eerie location. And that dude's armed. And he seeks trouble for a living. He chose a career that requires him to run towards danger.
Right. He's like, this is too spooky for me, man.
Right.
I'm not doing it.
Like, that says a lot.
Road leads to nowhere, and it's still there. That is just bizarre to me, but okay.
I'll give you an update on that
Hope
entire location.
Hope it's cleaned up. Okay.
Yeah, we'll get there. So Cynthia and Bill have obviously never taken this exit. They have no idea where it leads. And when they get to the bottom of it, their headlights hit on one car sitting right in the middle of this big turnaround spot. And it is Cara's white Beetle.
That's insane.
I can only imagine that jump scare. Like, you're already on the edge. Your adrenaline's going. Now you're driving down this creepy ass road. And at the very end of it, your headlights just hit on her car.
This is the same day that they went to the police?
Okay, so she called her parents and said she was driving back the night of the 27th. This is early morning hours of the 28th, 5 a.m.
Okay. So, yeah. Okay. Wow. They found it fast,
I know. They were just going down every exit.
Good for them. Wow.
Cynthia later said it was like being in a tomb, deathly eerie, the worst gut-wrenching feeling when we saw her car. It was like nothing I can ever describe. We knew in that moment she was gone. So now they have to get out from the safety of their own car and check it. The windows were rolled down, the keys were in the ignition, a Chevron receipt and Cara's gas card were on the passenger seat, and her belongings were in the back seat, but she was nowhere to be found. They rush out of there and find a payphone to call the police, and officers arrive in minutes to search the area. 2 hours later, they found Cara's lifeless body in a ravine about 75 feet under a bridge that ran along the interstate. She was fully dressed, still wearing the purple sweatsuit and the white leather boots that she wore the night before. She had been beaten in the face, strangled, and thrown off that bridge.
Jesus.
75 feet down. That's a
Holy
7-story
shit.
building. Yeah.
Yeah.
Side note, that bridge is now the Cara Knott Memorial Bridge.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's nice.
Also, side note, during one of my rabbit holes, I saw someone on Reddit say that in high school, they used to climb up the arch under that bridge and drink, which is the scariest thing I've ever heard.
No,
Okay.
no, thank you.
I know. So you got to see this. This bridge has pillars, obviously, like you'd see in any other bridge. But instead of the pillars going all the way to the ground, they're built into this concrete arch that goes from the ground all the way up to the bridge itself and then back down. So, yeah.
Do y'all have woods? Do y'all just have woods
I know.
like we do?
They
Over
have
in
a
Southern
beach.
California?
You
know what? Yeah.
You could
Y'all
drink
have
on a beach and you're choosing to drink under this bridge. I don't know. In the 70s you were.
Oh my God. What is with you people?
So yeah, this bridge has pillars. It's attached to this very large, high up concrete arch, and teenagers in the 70s would apparently go to the bottom and climb up that arch and have a few illegal beers, which just sounds like a tragic accident waiting to happen.
I mean, glad they lived to tell the tale.
On Reddit.
Wow.
Right.
On Reddit. Type that thing up on Reddit. Wow. Okay.
I bet they didn't go up the full 70. In my mind, they did. They went up the full 70 feet.
Oh,
of course.
they're suspended. They're hanging off of it.
Oh my God. They're all
dicking
around.
around.
They're flipping upside down. They're crazy.
Crazy bunch of kids with their rock and roll music.
And acid strips.
And sheets of acid.
Mm-hmm.
You are crazy.
During the autopsy, the medical examiner found ligature marks around her neck from a rope, and it was determined that she died before being thrown off, and there was no evidence of sexual assault. They also found skin tissue underneath Cara's fingernails, confirming that she had scratched her attacker and fought back. Unfortunately, DNA testing wasn't advanced enough in the 80s to do any further testing on it.
Right.
They did find a single gold fiber on her pants, which they bagged for evidence. So cops start their investigation at that Chevron gas station from the receipt they found in Cara's car. And the attendant remembered her, but said nothing really stood out about the encounter. She wasn't acting weird or anything. He said that no one walked in with her, so he assumed that she was alone, but, doesn't mean someone wasn't in the car.
Yeah.
So back at the scene, police noticed 2 tire marks as if someone peeled out of there. And based on the width between these tire marks, lead detective Phil Jarvis determined that it was a larger vehicle. It didn't necessarily say SUV, just a larger vehicle. They questioned her boyfriend, Wayne, first and foremost, but his sister confirmed that he was at home all night, so they immediately cleared him as a suspect. And then they were left with absolutely no one. But they were confident either that she had car trouble and maybe a stranger stopped to help her and ended up killing her, or maybe making a move on her. She rejected him and killed her or something. Or maybe she walked to a nearby gas station to call someone and a fight ensued. They just don't know. They have no idea. But as word spread, the entire city panicked. So 2 days later is when NBC7 reached out to California Highway Patrol to go on that ride along for this news segment. And they said, sure. The lieutenant chose one of their top performing officers, Craig Peyer, to run the safety video, which he gladly accepted because he was actually on duty when Cara was murdered. And being a father himself, felt guilty about that. So at least this way he could potentially prevent it from happening again. So you heard in the video where he's explaining that if you have car trouble, it's best to stay inside, lock your door, rather than flagging down a stranger because you don't know who's roaming around or watching you. And as he's explaining this, there is a guy in real time walking down the interstate with a gas can. And again, I'll post this all on Instagram.
Yeah.
So in this segment, the reporter's like, hey, let's help this dude. So Peyer pulls over to help, and the reporter briefly talks to him, which you heard. He was talking about how his gas tank was underneath his car, and he said he was almost hit by an 18-wheeler. He's very friendly. He seems to be in a pretty good mood, which is shocking considering he just ran out of gas on a dark interstate. I'd be real grumpy, but good for him.
Pissed, especially in the 80s. You don't have a cell phone. You don't have shit.
Right.
You just got to figure it out. That sucks. Car trouble. I'm so empathetic anytime I see someone on the side of the road with car trouble. There's nothing worse.
There's
been
nothing
there,
worse.
but I haven't been there at a time before cell phones.
That's right.
Sucks.
I know.
That would suck.
So you'd be pissed, especially in the 80s, as if he knew. God damn it, I wish I had a cell phone.
I know. When are they coming out with that shit? For the commoners like me, I'm sure there were a few early models, but
they were that big suitcase or whatever.
Yeah.
So once they're done putting gas in this stranger's car, he gets in and leaves. Overall, NBC7 and police considered the segment a huge success, very pleased with the footage, but they had no idea it would actually end up solving the case. Because the moment it aired, calls came pouring in. 20 women, one source said 30 women, called to report their own creepy ass encounter with the very guy they featured on the segment, even pointing out that you could see claw marks on his face on TV. And all of them said with certainty that that has got to be the man responsible for Cara's murder. And the man they're referring to is Officer Craig Peyer.
That's right. I was like, wait, is it the gas guy or the cop? I can't remember. Holy shit. Yep. Mm-hmm.
No, that nice passerby guy seemed lovely. He was like, yeah,
just ran out of damn gas.
It can be dangerous. I was almost hit by an 18-wheeler while walking to the gas station. I'm like, no, sir. You, not only that, you were just assisted by a murderer.
That's right. Wow. Mm-hmm.
Officer Peyer, it's 36 years old, married, father of 3, and a giant predator.
Mm-hmm.
At the time, he was a 13-year veteran with a stellar reputation, very likable and professional, they said, which is bullshit. So when the news station reached out to about doing a ride-along, CHP immediately thought of Peyer to represent them, saying, quote, if there was a man who's more proud of being a CHP officer than Peyer, I don't know I've ever met him. He was one of the top performing officers and issued more tickets than anyone else.
Of course he did. I wonder to who.
Yeah, no shit. Also, top performing officers because he issued more tickets than anyone else. He is the worst in the eyes of civilians. So,
oh, yeah.
Oh, my God. So annoying.
It's so annoying. I wonder if they're ever like, okay, well, you exceeded your ticket quota. It's all young women.
Uh-huh.
Why are they the worst offenders to you?
So interesting.
That's so interesting. Crazy, man.
So they said that he would always answer the radio on the first call. And according to several of his colleagues, his whole life was being highway patrol. Of course, now we know why.
Right.
Also, like in the video, he's like almost like baiting more future victims. He's like, stay in your car and definitely wait for cops. Don't flag down a stranger. Don't, I'm like,
yeah.
You're making your predatory,
I'm sure he'll be there to rescue. Yeah.
Real easy for future use. Yeah.
Right.
These women all recognize Peyer as the creep who once pulled them over at that very exit. Most of them reported that they were stopped for minor violations or non-existing ones, like they were wearing their seatbelt improperly or had a loose license plate or driving erratically when they claimed they weren't. More often than not, when being pulled over, he would call out on his intercom and instruct them to go down Mercy Road exit, claiming it was safer than being on the shoulder of the interstate.
An exit that you have to reverse out of.
No,
what are you talking about?
There's a big turnaround down there.
Okay, so you're going the wrong way down what would be an exit, and then you have to turn right to get back on the interstate.
Oh, I know.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
No.
You're right. How do you get back on there?
How do you get back on?
So when they followed his instructions and went down this creepy ass exit, he would tell them their quote violation, but immediately jump into a casual conversation into their personal lives, like if they had a boyfriend, whatever, and would linger sometimes as long as an hour and a half.
No.
Just chatting.
Okay.
In some situations, he would even get into their car on the passenger side and stroke their hair or rub their shoulders. Predator.
What?
I know. And my sources, granted a lot of them are newspaper articles from the 80s, point out that none of these women said that Peyer made sexual advances towards them. But I'm like, no, playing with your hair and rubbing your shoulders is making a move. What?
Oh,
that is a sexual advance. I would be like, get the fuck out of my car.
For real. How do you, okay.
Yeah.
I have no words. Like, how do you get to that point? Like, maybe if they were upset, like they're crying, they got pulled over. Maybe, like, how do you even get to the point where you can work that in? I don't know. I don't know what I'm asking.
You don't. You don't. Here's what you do. You use your badge to intimidate them and to just keeping their mouth shut and doing it whenever you want. Be middle of a conversation. Hi, your license plate was loose, and he goes for the hair. And they're too scared to say anything. Of course. He is ultimate intimidator, and he's an asshole.
Yeah, and I'm so glad he's also a dipshit who said, sure, I'll do that safety video. And then all these women saw his face and were like, oh, that creep. I know that creep. He twirled my hair while trying to give me a speeding ticket that I didn't deserve. No, thank you.
No, thank you. That
Good for them. They called in.
Damn near bloody gash going from his eye socket to his nose. Yeah, that one. I think that's the murderer.
Right.
Let's look at this guy. So
these girls are badass.
One way or another, each of these women luckily got out of it. Maybe their blatant discomfort was enough to eventually deter him and he would let them go. I don't know. It was said on a few occasions he even had some of them get in his car and they would just drive like a little joyride, which most of the women said was very unsettling. So they could have also been like, I don't know. Okay, my parents are looking for me now, and he let them go. I don't know. But they all confirm he didn't rape them, but didn't apparently try to kiss them or whatever. I bet that they were just too scared to admit that he did.
Yeah.
I'm sure.
It's so uncomfortable. What a creep.
Yeah. Also a creepy tidbit is that most of these women looked exactly like Cara. And 7 of the 20 to 30 that called in drove her exact same car, a Volkswagen Beetle.
Oh my God.
Which I'm sure is strategic. I'm sure more women drove those cars than men. So if he just saw one, the odds were in his favor and he just pulled it over.
Yeah.
Now, if only one of those times it was Ted Bundy, we wouldn't be in this mess of a story.
I know.
Ugh. So some of these women who Officer Peyer stopped had called to complain. They called CHP to complain about the unusual interaction, but they got ignored. I don't know how many of them reported them. Not all 20, but at least 2 did. And apparently one even told them how unsettling it was to drive down that Mercy Road exit. But apparently CHP actually thought that was smarter and safer of him rather than getting out on the interstate, which tells me they clearly didn't understand the full extent of, I don't know, or they straight just ignored it. Who knows?
Right.
So now with their tail kind of in between their legs, they wasted no time investigating him.
Mm-hmm.
If only someone didn't have to die to do this.
Right.
And the more they look into him, the more fellow cops started coming out about his sudden interest in Cara's case, constantly asking for updates, all that crap you always hear about.
Mm-hmm.
So much so that during one of the briefings, one of the female officers turned to him and jokingly said, Peyer, you did this, didn't you?
Whoa.
And he immediately turned ghost white, which she chalked up to him being a little embarrassed or maybe even a little offended to joke about something like that. But he wasn't offended. He just, needed
to... just shit his pants a little bit.
I was about to say, he just needed to wipe himself over her phenomenal read of him.
Wow.
Apparently, Peyer also used to joke that if he were to kill someone, he'd throw someone off the bridge, that very bridge, which, by the way, is a hilarious joke.
Hilarious. He's a riot.
Mm-hmm. But investigating one of their own isn't an easy task, as we know, and they had to be very careful that he wouldn't catch wind of it. So San Diego PD collaborated with CHP, which made it a lot easier to collect evidence and like do briefings and stuff and updates before confronting him because they could all do it at like a San Diego PD station.
Yeah.
They analyzed his traffic stops to identify any weird patterns, and they found that he did make a ton of stops near Mercy Road exit, yet not one in the past year or whatever time frame they used, which I think it was a 9-month to a year period, not one was a man.
Y'all.
All women.
Come on.
So they look at his logbook from the night of the murder, and it showed that he pulled someone else over several miles away from Cara's crime scene at 9:30 p.m., which is Cara's estimated time of death. But they noticed it had an erase mark, and then 9:30 was written on top of it. Who's doing these reports in pencil? God,
I know.
so
Come on.
weird. Again, several women who called in pointed out the red gash on his nose, and they do question him about it, but he's under the impression he's a witness, not a suspect, because he was patrolling the area the night of the murder. So they ask him about it, and that's when they notice it's not just a scratch on his nose that you can see on the TV. There are several on his forehead and arms, which you can't see on camera, but they certainly saw them in person.
Wow.
And he said that's because he was refueling his car at the police station, slipped on some gas, and accidentally fell into the chain link fence that surrounds the parking lot.
Wow.
Boy, you're an idiot.
That's a hell of a fall.
And a impossible one
Yeah.
because of a few things. The fence was said to be higher than the level of pavement. Were you about to say something?
No, I was just going to say, I don't even know what this refueling station looks like, but I know that can't be possible. A fence, is it butting up against the gas tank? Like, I mean, the gas pump? Like, never, it's just dumb. I just hate the story. I hate it so much. And it makes me uncomfortable.
Can slip on gas when it's spilled on concrete and you're wearing rubber sole shoes. Like, what the fuck are you talking about?
I know.
Slippery.
This isn't a cartoon.
Right. Yeah. Slipped on a banana peel. Oh my God.
Oh my God.
So not only all of that stupidity, the fence was said to be higher than the level of pavement where Peyer would have parked his car. I couldn't find a picture of it, but I envision like maybe the parking lot has like a retaining wall around it.
It's exactly what I'm picturing. I don't need a picture.
On top. Yeah.
It's ridiculous. Whoever he told that to was probably like, oh, I'm really uncomfortable.
Right. By the dumbass excuse you just came up with on top of your head. Sure.
Yeah.
On top of that, they said the fence is more than 10 feet off the parking lot. So
there it is.
Right. So over 10 feet from his car. So his colleague said in order for someone to smack their face on it and get scratched up, they would have had to take a running leap into it.
Yeah, I was about to say that gas launched them into the fence.
Right. So they're like, probably not Peyer. Peyer's a liar, if you will.
Yes. There it is.
They even told him, well, it looks like a fingernail. And he suggested, oh, well, maybe I scratched myself on the way down while falling. And they're like, sure. That's what I'm thinking.
Mm-hmm.
They send that gold fiber found on Cara's pants to forensics to be tested. And it is an exact match to the patch on Peyer's uniform. There's a little shoulder patch there.
Oh, I was like, what gold are you talking about? Okay.
I said that, right? That they found
you
a
said
gold fiber.
A gold fiber, but I was wondering, like, what's a gold fiber? Like, what?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
So now there's enough to confront him, which he denies, obviously, and willingly hands over his uniform, gun, boots, whatever, to be tested. And much to his dismay, they find even more damning evidence. They found purple fibers on his boots and gun. The fibers were tested, and they were exact match to Cara's sweatpants.
Yeah.
Uh-oh, Pepe. Your house of cards is falling.
Idiot.
When they searched his trunk, they found a small piece of yellow rope underneath the spare tire, which is something all cops had, so that's not unusual. So they sent it to a forensic odontologist, Skip Sperber, to compare the rope with the ligature marks on Cara's neck. And he found that the distance between the center of each coil to the center of the next coil was approximately 7/16 of an inch. The coil imprint on Cara's neck showed the exact same measurement.
Wow.
It's the same rope. And again, all the cops have this rope, but it was probably going to be the cop who's on duty, who's a creep and makes women pull over on this abandoned exit is what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
They also found Officer Peyer's flashlight, which matched the contusion on Cara's forehead.
Ow.
That is what he beat her with.
No.
It's disgusting. No. They even can tell that he swung it in a backhanded motion, which is fucking
Jesus.
Awful. Lastly, those brake marks found on the bridge where Cara's body was thrown, they were 53 inches apart, which is the exact distance between the tires on Officer Peyer's squad car. Or again, any squad car, but let's go with the creep who's on duty that night.
The fibers. Come on.
Oh, I know. It's like a done deal. So gathering all this evidence, again, here is what San Diego PD and CHP think happened. Around 8:30 p.m., Cara filled up her gas tank, confirmed by that Chevron receipt, and Peyer, who was parked somewhere close by in a squad car, noticed and watched her. The gas station attendant recalled seeing Cara pull in and then leave in the direction of the southbound ramp onto I-15. As Cara entered the southbound on-ramp heading towards home in San Diego, Peyer followed her onto I-15. He drove some distance behind her. As they neared the Mercy Road exit, he got on his intercom and told her to exit. He started pulling her over, blue lights, and then he got on his loudspeaker and told her to follow him down the highway to the next exit under the guise that Cara was driving illegally.
How the hell does he know that at this point? Like, I hate this guy. That she's driving illegally. What do you mean?
I bet they mean like expired tag or something.
Oh, okay. Like, what do you mean? You don't know who's driving that car.
That's true. Who knows? But I'm guessing that's what it was, a license plate expired or something. Some bullshit, though it's not true.
Right.
Cara likely had no idea this exit was abandoned. She was simply following the instructions of law enforcement, which makes this particularly unfair. We're taught to obey you people, you dick. So once they pull over on Mercy Road, Peyer likely began the same routine with the other woman, talking about personal things, playing with her fucking hair, rubbing her fucking shoulder. Blech.
Gross.
And Cara likely felt threatened. And when she refused to get out of the car, he started getting aggressive, which is when she pulled out her self-defense moves, which involved going for the eyes.
Oh, there you go.
There you go. Punch it, scratch it, whatever you can to hit. And this scratch, it goes to his eye, down his nose. So she was aiming for it.
Girl, that's true.
I know.
They say rip those eyeballs out if you can.
Right. Peyer then hits her in the forehead with his flashlight, which knocked her unconscious, and realizing he had gone too far and Cara could identify him, he went to go get the rope from his car and strangled her.
It made it so much worse.
Made it so much worse. So likely, to answer your previous question, why Cara over the other girls, they were probably too intimidated, and Cara was refusing his advances, and she was going to put up a fight. So
good. Oh,
I know, it's so awful. Or she threatened to report him. You just, if you're that big of a creep, it's going to escalate to murder eventually. I know he didn't rape. He apparently never raped them, never, whatever.
Right.
But it was going to get there. You're an asshole. You're a monster. It's going to get there. And it's so sad that it had to, but here we are. So once she died, it said, and this is a little confusing because I don't get it. It said he tied her to the trunk of his squad car to avoid getting any evidence inside of his car. And that's when he drove her back up the ramp to the bridge and threw her off.
The fuck?
It was so
how late at night? Did they think it was 9:30?
Yeah, around 9:30.
How someone would see?
Well, okay, so there are two bridges. Like one is the main interstate, and then there's one just a little bit below, which seems to be like an access road. I think he threw her off the access road one, which is
so it's hard to see.
75 feet up.
Okay.
From the interstate, it would be. It's just a little below it.
I gotta look this
I'll
up.
Post it.
I gotta see the layout of this place. That is tied her to the top on the outside of the trunk.
That's what I'm guessing, and I'm like,
it is crazy.
Reading that, am I confused? And
oh god,
repulsive.
Wow. Repulsive. Yeah. Anyway, yeah.
But I also don't know how they know that. Like, you could have simply just carried her. Like, why? Yeah, I don't know. But I guess because their tire marks are there, they know his car was there. So maybe that's very confusing, very repulsive, and it's disgusting. But he threw her off the bridge and then completed his shift like nothing happened.
Bleeding from the face.
Well, I think a flashlight is internal bleeding.
No, him. He had a big scratch.
Oh, sure. Yeah, from her.
Someone what happened, bud?
Right.
You all right?
He slipped on gas and fell into a chain link fence. I already told you. It's the dumbest thing.
So dumb. You clumsy son of a bitch. Why are you a cop?
Why are you a cop?
You did what? That gas launched you into a fence?
You drunk? That's what I would rather go with. I was drunk on duty than
that story.
That story sucks.
Yeah.
At 9:30 p.m., immediately after murdering Cara, he went to a gas station about 7 miles away from the Mercy Road exit, and the gas station attendant said he looked nervous and disheveled, and they noticed the scratches on his face. When she asked him how his shift was going, he said, "It's been a rough night." Yeah, I bet. You just got your shit rocked by an unarmed 20-year-old, you piece of shit.
Yeah.
Around 10 p.m., he pulled over some teenage brothers, so pulled over some men. For speeding. He wrote that the ticket was issued at 10, but then he erased it and wrote over it 9:30 p.m. to give himself an alibi.
Sure.
The two brothers later confirmed that it was in fact 10 p.m. when they were pulled over.
Yep.
Later that night, when Peyer arrived back at home, his wife, Karen, also noticed the scratches on his face, where he then told her about this epic fence story. In January 1987, 2 weeks after Cara was murdered, police arrested Peyer at his house and charged him with first-degree murder, and he became public enemy number 1 in San Diego.
Hell yeah.
His trial started January 20th, 1988, and there was a lot of testimony from the other women who were pulled over by Peyer, which is how we know that, like, the stroking the hair, those creepy-ass encounters.
Yeah.
And although there was a shit ton of evidence linking him, the defense argued that it was largely circumstantial. Scratches on Peyer's face can't be proven that it came from Cara. The rope in the trunk of his CHP car was standard for cops, but also standard for anyone. Like, you could get it anywhere.
Yeah.
Anyone could have technically gone and gotten that rope.
Right.
They even noted that the fibers from Cara's purple sweatpants that was found on Peyer's flashlight, whatever, boots everywhere, was circumstantial. But I don't get that, because it was 100% matched. Like, how else could they have gotten there unless there was physical contact? So,
right.
I think they argued that the lab could have, like, got tainted at the lab or mixed up at the lab or whatever. I'm like,
wow. That's insane if that happened. Because everything else is pretty damning, and that's a pretty physical piece of evidence.
Right.
He just has the worst luck.
The worst luck. And those fibers were found on the bridge, too. So I'm like, well, how'd they get there?
Oh, okay. And they matched the ones at the bridge, too.
Yeah.
I was going to say, I could see arguing, like, that doesn't necessarily mean they were hers.
Right. But,
you know, I don't know.
Right.
Like,
right.
from that pair of sweatpants.
Quite the coincidence.
Quite the coincidence. That's great.
Blood was also found on Cara's white leather boots, which was tested and matched the blood type of Peyer's, which is AB. But again, back in the 80s, that's the extent of testing they could do. It's a blood type. That's a lot of people's blood type.
Mm-hmm.
Defense also, of course, pointed out that the other women who reported Peyer's behavior testified that he never physically harmed them. It also came out that the medical examiner didn't take the liver's temperature in a timely manner, therefore couldn't accurately give a time of death. They also brought up a few witnesses who testified that they saw, quote, an oddly behaving hitchhiker that same night. So defense presented this to be a more likely suspect. One witness said that this hitchhiker was clearly in a hurry, like frantically waving his hands, maybe even waving money at passing cars to get someone to pick him up. I think there were 2 witnesses that testified, and they said that this guy clearly looked to be in a hurry. But there was zero credibility in this. Even if that guy existed, if he were in a hurry and had committed murder, he probably would have taken her car. Yeah. So it means pretty much nothing to me. But again, they couldn't even find this phantom hitchhiker. They tried to look for him, come forward, if that was you, whatever. And all of Cara's friends and family said she's never picked up a hitchhiker before in her life. So why would she decide to at night by herself? Makes no sense.
Next.
However, a few people say that they saw a Volkswagen Beetle being pulled over on the night of the murder, but they couldn't say with certainty that what the driver looked like because it was dark out.
Mm-hmm.
The jury was out deliberating for 7 days and came back deadlocked 7-5 in favor of convicting Peyer. So Judge Richard Hoffman declared a mistrial.
Stop.
For the retrial, which took place a few months later, the district attorney appointed a new prosecutor, Paul Finkst, who theorized that when Peyer pulled over, it's much like the first one, Peyer pulled over Cara the night of December 1986. Mm-hmm. She either rejected him or threatened to report him, and he killed her to silence her. And he just essentially spelled out the facts. We know Peyer's go-to spot for pulling over women was the Mercy Road exit. That we know. We know Cara went down this exit. We know she never made it out of that exit. Mm-hmm. That we know. We know Peyer was patrolling the area that night. What we don't know is what he was doing between 9:30 and 10 p.m. before he pulled over those brothers. A traffic stop that he gladly took on the shoulder of the interstate, by the way. Those brothers.
He did?
Yep, sure did.
You fucker.
Why didn't you make those brothers pull down an exit for safety?
Right.
Why did he erase the timestamp of the traffic stop from 10 p.m. to 9:30? It's just, who else would have them? So lastly, we know that he came home with fresh scratches all over his face, according to his own wife.
And the victim had clearly scratched the shit out of her.
Right. Because not only were skin tissues found under her fingernails, it was more fiber that matched a CHP uniform. So I'm like, yeah. So again, it was definitely a cop But, who else?
Yeah.
I'm going to go with the predator cop,
Yeah.
the dirty cop.
Mm-hmm.
So defense in this retrial didn't change their argument from the first trial, except that they weren't allowed to bring up the phantom hitchhiker this time around. They're like, no, we're
Good.
sick of hearing about him.
Yeah.
There wasn't enough evidence to prove this guy even existed, so they threw it out. This time, the jury found Peyer guilty of first-degree murder, and he was sentenced 25 years to life in prison. He did not testify in his defense at the retrial, nor did he speak at the sentencing hearing. He just sat there in silence. However, Sam, Cara's father, spoke at the sentencing, stating that Peyer had been hiding behind his badge and breaking his sacred trust to society.
Right.
And in 2004, here's all you need to know. In 2004, San Diego County District Attorney's Office implemented a wrongful conviction program, and as a result, offered to test the blood evidence from Cara's murder since DNA technology had advanced significantly. All Peyer had to do was provide his DNA so that investigators could test it against the DNA found on Cara's boots, and he would have been exonerated if he were innocent. But Peyer said, no thanks.
Yeah. I forgot about that.
He rejected this offer. He knew the results would not overturn his conviction because he is, in fact, god-awful.
Of course.
Sam, Cara's father, became a crusader for victims' rights, and one of the first things he accomplished was changing the 48-hour waiting period before someone can file a missing persons report.
Oh, there you go.
I know. Oh, and listen to this. He also cleaned up all the waste on the Mercy Road exit and turned it into a nature preserve with all these really pretty oak trees he planted, which he dedicated to Cara.
Oh, my God.
And in November 2000, he was maintaining the garden there when he suddenly had a heart attack and died.
Oh, my God. I have chills.
Right where his daughter did.
Oh.
14 years earlier. I think 14.
My God.
How?
What year was
awful.
that?
2000. I know.
Oh, that is awful.
How terrible is that? It was Cara Knott Memorial Park down off that bridge, which I think in 1995 it changed to San Diego Crime Victims Memorial Garden. And the pictures are really cool. There are rocks painted for what seems like hundreds of other victims. And there's like a gazebo with a bench and everything. But I saw on Reddit that this has turned into kind of a mess due to like vandalism, and not many people know it exists. And those that do say there's a very heavy presence there and that it's very unsettling.
Okay.
Melane's our best friend who lives in San Diego. So get your ass down there and let us know.
Oof, I don't know.
You get off at Mercy Road exit.
Be careful.
Yeah, be careful.
I wouldn't do it.
You get off at Mercy Road exit and you take a right on Carroll Way.
Oh, Cara.
And it's all the way down this very narrow path.
Wow.
One Redditor said, I just got in a rabbit hole, so I just want to talk about it.
Yeah. Let's do it.
He or she said, Carroll Way is the only place I refuse to ever step foot back inside of. I'm pretty logical and practical, and there's only two things in my 33 years I cannot explain, and one was what happened at Carroll Way last year.
Oh, God, what?
There's something seriously wrong and fucked up down there. And let me be clear.
I have to Google it.
I know, but hold on. But
okay,
let me be clear. I'm not saying that Cara's spirit is down there. There have been a lot of people who have apparently died down there. A lot of car wrecks, from what I gather. I didn't see anyone who reported saying they saw Cara per se. I don't know why I feel the need to clarify that. It just seems kind of disrespectful if someone is listening who knew Cara and is listening to people be like, it's haunted as shit down there.
Yeah.
So
I see.
I just want to clarify. A lot of people say there are spirits down there, and it's not necessarily Cara's.
Okay.
So then the Redditor continues. Down at the Memorial Gardens, the road ends at the gate, and there's a very small area where you can turn around. Think of Austin Powers getting stuck.
Nailed it. Got it.
Say no more. On the left is a wall running along the road. On the right is the Memorial Gardens, where everything is pretty much dead. Almost all the sculptures are cracked. It's very spooky. And the vibe is so fucking heavy all of the time. I've taken so many people down there just to say I told you so. The last time I went there was March-ish of last year at like 9 p.m. And then they say, so that was very early. I'm like, that's not early, dude.
Dude, it's dark out.
Yeah. Well, I guess in spring, maybe it's not. So at 9 p.m., whatever. Okay.
I don't know. You're coming out of winter. I think it's still dark. I don't know. I don't remember. Don't add us. Don't care. It's 9 p.m.
Right.
That's late.
9 p.m. The I-15 was busy and it didn't have even a hint of a bad vibe that I'd previously experienced. So I just kind of shrugged it off. The person I was with was kind of underwhelmed. It was a Tinder date, LOL. And we headed back towards the car.
Oh my God.
No.
You're great at first dates.
No.
Love it.
My headlights were still on, shining on that wall that ran, that I just talked about, ran on the left side.
Yeah.
And in them, I saw someone sprinting full on towards us from around the bend. It was just a fully formed silhouette. I saw the arms pumping, the legs moving right towards us. Think 28 days later in the tunnel, but it wasn't a shadow on the wall. I've never seen that movie, so what do I know? But most of y'all probably have.
Right.
I think it's a homeless person running up on us and I'm about to get carjacked. So I'm like, go, 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 get in the car. And I jump in and close the door and look up and nothing, absolutely nothing. It wasn't my shadow. It was on the road. It wasn't my mind playing tricks on me. It wasn't an actual person. I know what I saw. And it was so ironic. It happened when I completely shrugged the place off because I didn't feel anything. The term shadow person is the only way I can actually describe it. Fully detailed, fully formed, just pitch black, even when running through the lights of my car.
Huh.
I've explored everything from morgues and abandoned mental asylums in Connecticut to Six Flags in NOLA. I guess the Six Flags in New Orleans is that
what? Y'all? I have no idea.
I have no idea either. And that was my one big what the fuck of my life. And I took it as a warning because I was screwing around way too much down there. And I always knew the place was low key and a little dangerous. So with that in mind, I am never going back. If I had read this comment years ago from someone else, I would have been like, I'm going right now. But seriously, to anyone who's about to go fuck around down there, be careful.
Whoa.
Nah, Moyne, you got this. Get out there.
All right. Cara Knott Memorial Garden.
Both from people and whatever. No, he's not done.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Both from people and whatever the hell else is going on down there, because that flipped my brain a little bit. I literally don't have an explanation for it. And then they link a website that they found where a psychic or a medium has also been down there. And they said it seems that there are unhappy spirits of those who have died down there, either by a car wreck or some other tragedy, and they roam the area in a state of confusion or anger.
Wow.
I know, it's not crazy. They had their own kind of messed up story about a girl who died in a car wreck there, and they saw her ghost lying on the pavement. And they said they swear they saw another figure on top of her, what appeared to be eating her brain.
Okay, come on.
Is that one seemed way more far-fetched. But it is sad that even if you saw the ghost of a young woman who died in a car wreck there.
Sure.
How crazy is that? So you see it?
Yeah.
And I will post pictures of it. It was, at least once upon a time,
nice.
very pretty.
Yeah.
And not many people know about it at all.
Sam has a plaque there now too.
Oh, no, I know.
From your poker buddies. Oh, Sam.
I know. Yeah.
Wow.
And for a while, his wife was maintaining it, but I guess it just got to be too much. And now vandals have gotten a hold of it. And
right. Yeah.
How screwed up is that story?
So is he...
yep, Peyer's still in jail. He is
still alive.
Still alive. He'll be eligible for parole in January 2027. He has never shown remorse or apologized. So
or
I'm
admitted it. Obviously hasn't admitted it. Correct?
No, of course not. No, absolutely not. And he is currently rotting in California Men's Colony Prison in St. Louis Obispo.
Oh, okay. Wow. He's a piece of shit.
He is a piece of shit.
Wow. Okay. What an asshole. I knew that story with I want to see the video. I forget.
I'll post that too.
Yeah. I remember the perp was involved in that. I'm still looking at these pictures of, now I need to go to Mercy Road. God, that's crazy. Poor Cara.
It's so sad, so senseless. And God, she fought like hell.
Yeah. Good for her.
Good for her. Custom shout out is from Christina. The shout out is for you, Rebecca and Rachel, with a little plug for myself. Good for you.
All
Plug yourself.
right. Getcha.
I just want to acknowledge how badass you both are. Rebecca, you're going through an extremely tough time, but still showing up, doing the pod, and doing what you need to do. Rach, you're holding strong for yourself and Rebecca. Oh my God, do not make me cry.
Don't make me cry. I can't.
My nose got tingly. Hold
Me
on,
too.
Christine.
Me
I'm
too.
going for it. I can do it.
You got this.
You're holding strong for yourself and Rebecca. Couldn't imagine my sister going through these, let alone a twin.
Oh God.
Damn it, Christina. Hold on.
Christina, we were doing so good.
You've been an inspiration to so many, starting your pod and successful business. You've inspired me to start my travel business. Oh, Travel
Really?
Adventures by Christina. It'll be a year in October, so I'm still trying to go. I'd love all People Are the Worst listeners to follow me on IG, FB, and TikTok. IG is my business name with underscores between each word. So it's travel underscore adventures underscore by underscore Christina. And it's Christina.
Oh my God,
how
Christina.
it's typically spelled Christina.
Oh, Christina, you're so sweet.
And then she says, "You're the best. We ride at dawn." Y'all go follow her. There's one thing I've learned is this community is insanely supportive.
Oh my God.
It's
Y'all are
so
truly the best.
Y'all really
Wow.
are.
That was so nice. God, we almost made it through a couple of episodes without crying. But here we go.
Damn it, if we weren't going to cry this episode.
Oh my gosh.
Y'all
That
are
was
so
very
sweet.
nice. Y'all go follow Travel Adventures by Christina.
Yeah. Patrons: Alana, Elizabeth, Kyle Hogues, Katie, Shireen, Sarisha. Oh, California? Is that? It's all one word, but am I saying? I'm sorry, I'm probably butchering that. Mandy, Ann, Brenda, Kate, Gabby, Marianne, LPZ, Renee, Ashanti, and Jen. Thank y'all so much.
Thank you.
Y'all are the very best. People are the
worst.